Tag team in morning radio, Dominique DePrima and Tavis Smiley. As the first black woman in Los Angeles to anchor a morning drive talk radio show, Dominique covers local politics like a blanket. Weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., Dominique passes the baton to Tavis Smiley, who talks to everybody about everything every day until 12 noon. KBLA's dynamic duo, Dominique and Tavis. It's no wonder the LA Civil Rights Department is honoring Dominique DePrima this year at its Tell Our Story honoring black journalist leaders and storytellers event, Thursday, February 8th. Or that the John M. Langston Bar Association of Los Angeles is honoring Tavis Smiley at its 47th Annual Installation and Scholarship Awards Gala with its Community Impact Award on February 10th. We couldn't be more proud of Dominique and Tavis, who make black history every day, not just in February. If you're missing Dominique and Tavis weekday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580, you're missing out. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Holla, yeah.
You ready?
Come on. It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers. Highlighting people and things you should know about. Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Robin's got a lot to talk about.
Nothing's too much, words that I live by. That's just how I do. I'm young right now, but I won't be forever. So I'ma live it up like that's true. You might wanna roll with me too. Said I don't mean to brag.
You are listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I am your host, Robin Ayers, with you all Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. on that drive home, or you're already at home kicking your feet up, wherever you are. I'm glad that you're tuning in today and hanging out with us today. Andy and me, you know, Andy's always bringing the fire. I don't even know who that song was, but it was hot. It was hot like fire, Andy.
Mac Wilds.
Okay, I know who that is. Okay, fire song. Listen, happy Tuesday to you guys. I hope that you are doing well. Raw Squad, I see you in the building already showing up in our YouTube. And that leads me to tell you, listen, if you are listening right now on our app, actually, there is the KBLA TV. There's a little icon where you could join us right now over in our YouTube. The chat, it is always fun. It is always a vibe. And we have a community building up over here called the Raw Squad. And I love you guys so much. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. I know I am. I don't have any more updates with my kids, but, you know, I'll bring them to you because I expect that we're going to continue to get acceptance letters, but, you know, not today. Andy.
So they haven't made an official decision yet?
Not one of them seems to have made an official decision. The other one is like, let me wait for all of my acceptance letters and then, you know, put it all on the table and see what I'm looking at. So we have yet to see.
Can I put in a suggestion?
Yes, please.
I forgot. I don't know which one is the artist.
Brooklyn.
Pick. I don't know what she's trying to study.
Okay.
But my suggestion on the outside looking in is to find the program that has the best art program.
Yes.
And tap into that.
That is one of the things she wants to do is art, but she is not trying. Funny enough, she is so gifted in that area, but she wants to be a marine biologist. I mean, come on, Brooklyn. Come on, marine biologist with the talent in the hand and the pen and the pencil, which is super cool that she could do both, right?
Absolutely. But keep that art though.
Yes.
If you're gonna go that route, marine biologist, hey, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But definitely keep the art stuff.
She knows, and she knows she can make some money on the side from that too. So definitely shout out to her. And Madison, who is my future attorney, shout out to her as well. So yeah, we will keep you guys updated for sure. But speaking of updates, let me give you a couple that I wanted to talk to you guys about. You may or may not know, but LA Times writers, some of them are devastated. They've been laid off. There was a mass layoff of 115 people over at LA Times, and they are really having a hard time with this. And I feel them as a writer, as a fellow writer. You know, sometimes you grow up with that being your love, something that you wanted to do. And if you're from LA, that's a place that you would actually want to write. What, you seem confused.
No, because just the other day, if I'm not mistaken, Sports Illustrated laid off a lot of their employees as well too. And I'm just kind of curious to know, is something going on within the print industry?
Okay. I mean, and absolutely. And there's a show, Ridiculousness, I believe. Are you familiar with that show? The writers there are trying to get more money. They're trying to push for a little bit more, fairness and compensation. So something going on in that industry, but my heart is with them. I'm sure they will find other jobs, but yeah, not so good news for them. But good news for Jaleel White, actor Jaleel White, if you remember him from Urkel, or he played Urkel on the show Family Matters. He is set to host a syndicated game show. I always love it when you see a child actor who really loves what they do and they continue to be successful in that area. I think it's fantastic. So good for him. The show, if you're wondering, is called The Flip Side. So that will be hosted by Jaleel White. Nia Long. We are all up in that lady's business, and we do not need to be. Nia Long is set to receive $32,000 monthly in child support. That's a lot of dough. That is a lot of money. As we all know, her son's father, Ime Udoka, they had a huge public breakup and infidelity involved. But I don't think it's our business. I actually don't think it's our business. I mean, the fact that it's even in the news, I think it's unfair. I think they deserve some privacy. Speaking of privacy, we will be talking about privacy, especially within the family and in relationships. We'll be talking about that today. Lastly, Tristan Thompson. Man, Tristan Thompson, he's been suspended for 25 games. I'm not laughing at Tristan. It is just he keeps finding himself in not good circumstances. 25 games he's been suspended without pay for violating the NBA's anti-drug program. It seems he's tested positive for performance-enhancing substances. I don't even know how to pronounce these. Ibutamarin, I think, is one. SARM, LGD 4033. I don't even know how you pronounce it. What you taking over there, Tristan? He's been tested positive. So 25 games you will not see him play, and that is without pay. So sad. Because you can do the work, right? You do the work to enhance your performance just personally, just things that you can do mentally and physically. Why do you need the performance enhancement drugs?
He wasn't getting any playing time anyway.
Okay. Okay. So that's that on that. The question of the day, I will be asking this inside the poll because I'm so curious as to what you guys think. Is it an insult to tell someone that they're losing weight or gaining weight? Is it an insult to comment on someone's appearance, whether they're losing weight or gaining weight? I'd be curious to know what to say what you're thinking, Andy.
For the ladies, yes, but not
For the ladies.
dudes.
Okay, you don't. Okay, it's an interesting question. Well, JT of the City Girl, she says she doesn't believe it is a compliment. She feels like it's an insult. But I want to know what you guys think, because Andy, you have a point. Oftentimes, as women, we think, you know what? It's a compliment that you tell me I'm losing weight, and for some, it's a compliment when you say they're putting on some weight. But is it our business? All right, we're talking business today. Andy, let's go ahead and get into the Raw Report.
Now it's time for a breakdown.
We've been talking a lot lately about black men, and it's specifically how black people hate on other black people. We've been having a real nice discussion around this, trying to dissect where that started. Why are we hating on one another? Where does that come from? And who's in charge of changing the narrative? I know that we would say it's us and all of that, but how do we do it? Well, I came across a subject today, a video, in fact, of Gayle King, who talks about her love for black men. I thought this was a great way to pivot. We'll still talk about this whole narrative behind hating on black people. Why do we want to see us doing bad when we claim in public we want to see us doing well? We are supporting. Why do we say that? But then behind closed doors, we tend to hate. So we'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about family business. Have we lost the concept of keeping family business in the family. Again, so many things are for social media these days, but Cam Newton and Terri J. Vaughn, they're talking about privacy in relationships and in family. We're going to talk about that, try to break that down. And we probably get into a little bit of the Academy Awards. As you know, they are coming up, but people are outraged. Some fans of Fantasia and The Color Purple, they're saying Fantasia she's been snubbed. She has not been nominated. Excuse me. She's not been nominated. However, her co-star from The Color Purple, Danielle Brooks, she has been nominated in a supporting role. And my question is, are we, as Black people, do we nitpick about everything? Is that fair? Are we justly fighting, or should we be happy and understand that not everybody qualifies? It's an interesting question, an interesting topic, and I want to talk about it on the other side. You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
Hey, I'm Damian Young. I'm chilling with Robin on The Raw Report.
You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that for Bree's car.
Just right, just right, just right. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Bree's car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy for Breeze. La 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 la.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside The Raw Report.
With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, I am so happy on this Tuesday to have with us on the line this wonderful contributor. I love being in conversation with her. You all know her. She's no stranger to the Raw Squad. Katrina Robinson. Welcome to the Raw Report. And I'm so glad to speak with you for the first time, I believe, this year. How are you, Katrina?
I'm doing great. Hey, college mom.
Yes. Now, Katrina, before we move on with our conversation, I want to make sure that we can hear you well. So I don't know if you're on speaker or Bluetooth, but if we can have you get close to that speaker, because I want to hear everything you have to say.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you a lot better. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Okay, so Katrina, I'm asking right now over in our YouTube chat, I'm asking, someone mentioned that it's an insult to comment either way on someone's weight, whether they're getting too small, whether they're getting too big. They say that it's an insult regardless. Where do you stand? Do you say it's an insult either way? Losing weight is a compliment. Telling me that I'm losing weight is a compliment, or is it just don't say anything at all? Just leave it alone. What do you think?
I really think it just depends on the relationship. Like, I wouldn't like a stranger to tell me whether or not I'm losing or gaining weight. But to be honest with you, I kind of like had a tip with my friends because I didn't know I was as fat as I was 2 years ago.
Oh.
We had this conversation not too long ago, which is why this is funny. But I think people who have those relationships with you should be able to talk to you. I mean, if it's a health concern, but you never know, what people's triggers are. You never know what they're going through. So I think it's a very sensitive subject to broach with somebody that you don't know.
I think the point is well taken, and it's a fantastic point that it really does depend on your relationship with someone. You can't tell me, if you don't know me like that, you can't just be like, you losing too much weight or anything for that matter. Yes, I hear that point. I take your point there. I do want to go ahead and get into this conversation about Gayle King. Gayle King, this is a great conversation because she was recently talking to the Pivot podcast, the guys there, and she opened up about her love for Black men. Let's just take a listen to it and open up the conversation from there.
So in answer to your question, is it difficult to date? Yes, I think so, because I really am attracted to men of color. I just am. I love how a Black man says baby. Nobody says it like y'all. And I know you'll beep it out. I know you'll beep it out.
The bleep out was MF baby.
No, he doesn't cuss good at all. Gayle, every time he cusses, I'll be like, you making us look better.
No, it's just the way that it's said. I don't even know how to explain it to you.
Like how do they say it?
I can't do it.
That's my baby.
No. When they call you baby, like hey baby.
Hey baby.
Yeah, I love how they say hey baby.
What's your hey baby?
It's two separate things. It's not baby. It's two separate things. I love how they say, hey, baby, how you doing? It's different. It is different. And then how they just say, it could be a term of endearment. It could be a term of endearment, or it could be, I'm really pissed. Right. But there's something about a Black man says it. I'm attracted to that.
So
they got to have something else too, though.
Yeah, I can cuss, Gayle. If you want me to cuss, I'll cuss all day for you.
No, you don't want somebody with a potty mouth, Channing. It's not that. It's not that. But sometimes a well delivered curse word is very intelligent to me.
Gayle, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Katrina, on this show over the past week or two, or about a week, we've been having this conversation about Black men specifically, and this hate about Black men or Black people and why we hate on each other, why we have this tendency to hate. It's like we've been taught to hate each other. It felt refreshing to hear Gayle talk about her love for, Black men and little specificities like, okay, I love when he says this or when Black men say that. First of all, your thoughts. Do you agree, number one, with Gayle before we open the conversation completely up?
Okay, I was trying to figure out what she said before baby. What was the word they bleeped out?
She said MF baby. She loves it when Black men, she said separately, she loves it when he says MF, and then she loves it when he says baby, so those are her two, I guess, favorite words.
Okay. Gayle had a little juice, I guess, before she got on the show. But, Gayle loosened up. Okay. No, I'm with her. There's nothing like a Black man and his voice and just his strength. Like, yeah, I love Black men. I love a little roughness around the edges too, Gayle. I like me a corporate thug. You know what I'm talking about, Robin.
I do.
So yeah, I agree with Gayle.
Yeah, I do. I hear you. I agree. I feel like there needs to be a movement I was thinking about this recently. Just like it's been caught on. I don't know how we caught on to hating each other and hating black men and trying to tear them down. Recently we were talking about Cat Williams. He's been called out by Dave Chappelle for only naming black men who he has something against. He didn't name when he did his Club Shay Shay interview. And as you know, I'm sure you've seen that. It set the internet ablaze. I keep saying that, but it's true. Dave Chappelle was like, he never said anything about another white comedian. It was all black men. Recently, 50 Cent, he posted a photo where he had lost weight and everybody just tore him down in the comments. They were like, oh, it's Ozempic. It couldn't be anything positive. Oh, good for you, 50. You're changing your lifestyle. Or it couldn't be. And by the way, his partner, his girlfriend, is a fitness guru. She looks incredible. I mean, they couldn't even say, hey, like maybe he's getting on board. Maybe she's helping him lose weight. They tore him down. And there are all kinds of other, conversations about what we do to black men. But somehow that's grown. Somehow we've been taught that. I don't know. I don't know why we kind of move on with this narrative. But what do you think it'll take to change that portrayal of black men? Like Gayle King, she was like, listen, and Forrest Harrison, I think is so funny. He said Gayle is for the streets, but I think what it is that she got a little bit of something in her that we were all like, oh snap, okay, Gayle, because we could relate to that. We love black men and the things that black men say and the ways that they walk and things that they do and, their careers and how they treat their families and their women. We love that. So what do you think it'll take to actually help change that narrative in a positive way for black men?
I think it's going to take more of what we're just talking about here, just conversations out of love, like women just speaking positivity and more people speaking positively. I think I was on the show a couple of weeks ago with your guest host, and we were talking about the platforms that a lot of our black men are given now. Most of them are NFL players who have, podcasts or newscaster seats right now, but just, displaying what real love is for black men and black men being able to portray themselves as family men and men who love their wives and their mothers and their families. I think we just need to see more of that in front of us because, the total opposite is what has destroyed our families and destroyed our sense of respect for black men because it's put in front of us every day that black men are a danger. They're a threat to everybody in society. And we kind of taking that in as part of our mentality sometimes, not even consciously. It's embedded in us because of the propaganda that's put in front of us every day. And so the same way that we take that in negatively, that's the same way we'll have to turn it around positively. It's just having those conversations and seeing more of good black men and good black women in good relationships.
Oh, that's so well said. You know what I find really interesting though, Katrina? There's this big uprise and this uptick in podcasts, especially visual podcasts. We see them all the time on social media. And a lot of them, though, they're comprised of black men just sitting there talking. And a lot of it's positive. A lot of the information that they give out, a lot of the topics are positive topics. But people, once again, so we're seeing those images kind of to your point. We are seeing, a lot more of those type of positive images of black men. But, the new trend is saying we need to do away with the podcasts. Someone said we need to make microphones more expensive so not everybody can grab a microphone and just talk about their opinions. I mean, is that something that you see? Because Andy, we just talked about pivot. Do you have any other examples of men who are positively on the microphone and who are put before us? I mean, you've got the barbershop. That's LeBron James's. I think that's
Uninterrupted,
the shop.
I believe.
Uninterrupted. Mm-hmm. So I mean, we do have a few that we're seeing, but people they knock that. I mean, is that a way that we can, kind of something that we can promote to, I don't know if this is clear, if I'm being clear with this, just like, do you understand where I'm going with this, Katrina?
No, I see what you're saying. We have to, because, we have to create our own media, first of all, because we don't control the media most times. Shout out to Tavis. But it's our responsibility for us when we have those platforms to use it for that particular, reason, to be able to portray those relationships, to be able to have the critical conversations and the uncomfortable conversations like this one here, because, a lot of people won't acknowledge the fact that in our community, we are sometimes our biggest enemy. We want to blame other people or blame other communities because of the degradation of our families or because of the X that's put on the black man's back. But really, it's us, and of course we've been disadvantaged along the way, but the same way we've been disadvantaged, we've been empowered to do other things. We've been empowered to be entrepreneurs. Everybody's an entrepreneur these days, or influencers these days. So the same way we use that information and that empowerment to do that, we can use that to foster these types of conversations that put us in the headspace to believe in the goodness of black men and in our relationships.
I agree with you. Before I'm going to ask this question, give me your thoughts in about a minute or so. We're talking about black men who wear dresses, right? A lot of that, we've been talking about that. And a lot of people are knocking it. And it seems to only be black people who knock it when we see other black men who wear dresses. How do you feel about that when the argument is white people can do it and they get Oscars for it? I mean, we can go down the list of white men who've been praised for putting on a dress in a movie or a show, but they knock black men. Where do you stand with that?
I see it both ways. How many black men in a dress have won an Oscar? How many movies with black men in dresses have been taken seriously? I mean, you have to look at, the source and who's putting this in front of us. I mean, sometimes it's us and sometimes it's what the industry demands. And a lot of people don't really look that deep into it, but there has been, to me, and I'm not saying this in any way that should be offensive or taken the wrong way, but there has been a movement of emasculation amongst our black men in several different ways. And I think that's just one of those facets of entertainment where people are recognizing that, hey, this is a little bit more prevalent than it used to be, and it's becoming even more prevalent. And it's not funny anymore sometimes.
You know what? That is the second great point that I want to dissect. Yesterday, Pretty Brown Mimi over here, part of the Raw Squad, she mentioned the portrayal of black women as being unattractive, and you mentioned the emasculation of men as a whole. So maybe that's why it bothers us more. We shall probe it a little bit further on the other side. Right now, we've got news, traffic, and sports. You're listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Denzel Whitaker, and I'm on The Raw Report.
More of The Raw Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The youngest son of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King passed away in California yesterday. Dexter Scott King was named after the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, where his father once served as pastor. The younger King spent his career legally protecting his father's work and his family's intellectual property. Dexter Scott King was 62 years old. Florida has a new education record to be proud of. Governor Ron DeSantis announced the state's high school graduation rate in 2022 and 2023 was 88%. He says that's the highest rate ever. DeSantis adds graduation rates are also higher now than they were 5 years ago for students with disabilities, the economically disadvantaged, and African American students. He says Florida's graduation rate continues to climb because our educators place a sole focus on academics in the classroom. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Watch for stop traffic coming from Bob Hope Drive on Griffith Park's 134 East at the 5 due to a crash currently in the middle lane, causing delays up to 20 minutes. In Palmdale, a crash remains on the right lane of the 138 northbound interchange after Rancho Vista Boulevard. Stop traffic continues up to 20 minutes from Palmdale Boulevard, Highway 138 interchange. Caltrans continues to repair the guardrail back in Pasadena's 210 East at the Mountain Street Seco Street interchange as the crash involved remains on the right lane as well. And in Long Beach, two left lanes remain occupied with a big rig that hit the overpass of the 710 North before Anaheim Street.
New year, new hiring needs? Indeed's end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers are the home team tonight at Crypto for their LA showdown with the Lakers. A win for the Clippers tonight would move them within one game of Minnesota for the best record in the Western Conference. The Clippers are one of the NBA's hottest teams. They are 19-4 since December 1st. 7 p.m. tip-off tonight. If you're not going to the game, you can catch it live on TNT. The 49ers are a 7-point favorite over Detroit in Sunday's NFC Championship game. 3:30 kickoff on Fox. Detroit is trying to advance to the Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history. In the AFC, Baltimore is a 3.5-point favorite over Kansas City. Noon kickoff on CBS. Congratulations to the Southern University Marching Band. They're known as the Human Jukebox. Southern was voted the 2023 HBCU Sports Band of the Year. Congratulations to Jaguars Nation. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Got me a damn girl on my team. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe we have the best tag team in morning radio. Dominique DePrima and Tavis Smiley. As the first black woman in Los Angeles to anchor a morning drive talk radio show, Dominique covers local politics like a blanket. Weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., Dominique passes the baton to Tavis Smiley, who talks to everybody about everything every day until 12 noon. KBLA's dynamic duo, Dominique and Tavis. It's no wonder the LA Civil Rights Department is honoring Dominique DePrima this year at its Tell Our Story honoring black journalist leaders and storytellers event, Thursday, February 8th. Or that the John M. Langston Bar Association of Los Angeles is honoring Tavis Smiley at its 47th Annual Installation and Scholarship Awards Gala with its Community Impact Award on February 10th. We couldn't be more proud of Dominique and Tavis, who make black history every day, not just in February. If you're missing Dominique and Tavis weekday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580, you're missing out. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. Holla, yeah!
COVID-19 renter protections are ending for City of Los Angeles tenants. Know your rights and these 3 facts. February 1st is the deadline to pay rental arrears for rent owed from October 1st, 2021 to January 31st, 2023. Residential tenants cannot be evicted without a reason or just cause. You have 5 days to respond to an eviction notice from the court. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org. Be informed. Be protected. Be at home.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit LAFLA.org. LAFLA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on. Who's got next? And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where I've got the Raw Squad with me, family business, and we're also talking family business in our next conversation. We are on the phone with our contributor of the day, Katrina Robinson. We are trying to figure out this conversation about black men. We love us and black people as a whole. Why we do love us. You have so many people talking about we love us, but is it the trolls? Are people just online trying to tear us down? What is that about? Do we have we're trying to figure out the answers. Yesterday, Pretty Brown Mimi over in our YouTube, she mentioned she does not like it when black men are portraying unattractive black women. She says that's not funny. And far too many times, and Katrina, to your point that you made, we hadn't seen, there's no serious movies with black men. For that matter, I don't know that I've seen a serious movie with a white man in a dress either, but there are no serious movies with black men. But to your point, you say that there's an emasculation of black men. But I asked over in our YouTube, is there an agenda? Do you guys believe that there's an actual agenda to emasculate black men? Right now, it doesn't look like all of you agree. 57% of you say there is no agenda. You don't believe there is an agenda. 43. Okay, well, now it's 50-50. Now it's 50-50. But we will go ahead and keep that poll up. I'm interested to see where we go from here. I'm just not sure what the answer is, and I'm not sure that there is one answer, but I do know one thing before we move on, Katrina. One thing is, just like we come up with all these challenges and, you know, there's all these TikToks and all these things, why can't we create a movement for love of black men? Specifically black men, because I feel like black men have it the hardest. I feel like they are, they don't get a lot of love, and we know how powerful they are. I mean, they're ours, right? We know how powerful they are, but they do have it the toughest. And so I would love to see some sort of movement or challenge. What I love about my black man, what I love about black men. I don't know. That's just my idea. You with it? Or you just gonna leave that one alone?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
I love that.
Okay.
Look, what is it? What's the challenges going around there? I love black men. Of course, I like it when they call me baby.
I love it. I love black men. Of course, I love it when they call me baby. Okay, yeah. Shout out to Gayle King. That's a good one, Katrina. That's good. We'll see what we can do with that. If I start it, let's see if people join. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I got you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna hold you to that, Katrina. Let's go ahead and move on. We're talking about. Speaking of We Are Family, talking about Cam Newton, who is another black man who has a podcast, and he's often talking about a lot of positive things. He had actress Terri J. Vaughn on his show recently, and Terri J. Vaughn, she's been around for many years. Many people know her from the Steve Harvey Show, who was married to Seti. I loved her in that show. But they were talking about, relationships and privacy in relationships and how that's sort of done away with at this time. We do everything for the gram. We put our relationships on the gram, and we try to romanticize our relationships. And they both talked about how we really have lost the art of keeping your relationship private and family business, right? Do you think that we have lost the art of keeping our business private?
I don't know if we've lost the art. I just know it's become more acceptable because of our culture now. People feed off of people's personal lives due to, reality TV shows and social media influencers. It's kind of expected that they share their lives. And so now people who consume that type of entertainment, they think it's normal for them to do the same thing. So, for me, where I come from, what happens in our house stays in our house. And I think, when you keep things private and not necessarily hidden, because some people get that confused. They think that they're in relationships with people who are in multiple relationships because they don't post them on social media or they don't acknowledge them. But some people just, acknowledge the value of privacy. It's not easy for anybody to attack or to permeate anything that they don't know about. So I'm all for keeping my relationship private. If I do get a zaddy, y'all never see him because I think people just overshare. This would have been the perfect topic for Cam to talk about when he had Krishan on there. Krishan Rock. I mean, perfect example. Back in the day, my mom used to tell me, if you're mad at your boyfriend, keep it to yourself because you'll get over it, but I won't. So, we all will be rooting for her, and then she goes back to him, and then she comes back, and we're still mad, and she's not mad anymore. And I think that's a lot of relationships like that. I think it's best to keep things between you and your person if you want it to last.
Very, very well said. I want to go ahead and get to this call. And this is Amir from Torrance, and he wants to talk about love for Black men. Hey, Amir, good to have you on the Rob Report.
Thank you for having me. I think that one of the problems that Black men have historically is that we've never been able to protect our women. So our manhood has always been in question. We talk about Black manhood, but if you can't protect your women or you're not willing to, that's why that movie with Samuel Jackson, A Time to Kill, if somebody rapes your daughter or your wife or your niece or your sister, you got to be willing to pay that sacrifice. Okay, this person he's going to do what he got to do, but the family and the community is going to back him. Black men have never been able to protect our women, so our manhood has always been marginal. That's why we on the corner bebopping and acting cool, because we haven't been able to protect our women. If you can't protect your women, your manhood is really questionable.
Wow.
I'm a black man.
Yeah.
I'm a black man.
Yeah. I've never looked at it from that perspective.
Yes. My father dropped my mother in the projects and left her. My mom was from Mississippi. She didn't know nothing about the projects in California. So a lot of times when women are telling the truth, like Wait and Exhale, Black men get offended. But we have to sit down as a family outside of the media, sit down with each other and figure this out together, because one of the problems that we have is when Black men are young males growing up, we're allowed to date and treat women any old kind of way, but then we want our women to be sophisticated and ladylike. You can't have it both ways. If your son is out there doing whatever, and the reason why I say that, because my sister checked me one time. My sister told me, she said, it's because of men like you that me and your sisters will never have a good man. And I was pissed off. But then later I had to, what she said was so real. I'm a womanizer. I'm just doing what I want to do, because at the time growing up, I'm thinking we're poor. We're always going to be poor. So at least I'm going to have my fun with women. And that was the wrong attitude. And my sister brought it to my attention. It's like when you're sitting in the room and somebody turns on the light, they can turn it right back off, but the damage is already done. So it's not damage. It was a great thing that my sister told me that, because that's checks and balances. And until Black men and women come together and establish these checks and balances, because no one in this country has been hurt more than Black women. You guys were raped.
Yeah.
You guys bore our children. Everything, we're the second most scorned and most hurt, and the biggest reason why we're hurt is because we couldn't protect you, or we were unwilling to protect you. But no one has been hurt more than Black women.
Oh, my goodness, Amir.
I mean, let's just be for real.
Yeah. Before I let you go, because we could go on a whole, Katrina, I know you over here feeling me as well. I mean, this is a great statement. I appreciate your contribution to calling in here, Amir. Before I let you go, what is the there's so much that I want to talk about with this, but just to make it simple, what is the first change? Is it men need to take a look at themselves, because we've been calling them out for many years, or is it women who need to sort of empower men? Where does that change begin?
It's both. I mean, we need the support of Black women, because so many times we're psychologically damaged. Like when you look at us, you don't see that. You just see the strong man. He's handsome, he's fit, whatever. But psychologically, he's damaged. Look at all these Black men in the NFL that got white women. Shannon Sharp is one of the biggest figures on there. He's got a white woman. Jamie Foxx got a white woman. Keenan Ivory Williams got a white woman. So Lamar Odom almost committed suicide because of that white woman. So when you look at us, we're damaged. We look good on paper, but the reality is we all need to heal. So our mothers and our sisters have to check us. My brother, I have a twin brother. He told me one time he went to a club and he took a white woman. He said he would never do that ever again. He said the way the black women looked at him, they never said anything, but he could feel their pain. But the question is, where was he going to go with this white woman? Was he going to go to an all-white club? No, he's not going to do that. So we got to check ourselves. You can't have it both ways. You can't be a strong black man and then go over here and get with white women. That doesn't work. So we a lot of times black men just don't want the scrutiny, but we got to check ourselves. First of all, with each other, we got to check our brothers, we got to check our nephews, we got to check our cousins, and then we got to protect our women. I have this philosophy that when a man wants to come into our family, he's got to sit with all the cousins, all the brothers, all the uncles, and her father. That's checks and balances. Because now this guy knows that he can't just come in here and play with this woman. He's accountable to all of us. We're going to love you if you're with my daughter, my sister. We're going to love you, and we're not just going to take her word over you. We're going to listen. But if you put hands on her or something like that, you got to fight all 50 of us in this room.
I love it.
You ready for that?
Amir, this is a very, very powerful call. I don't know where you've been, but I need you to call back on the Raw Report because you are dropping nuggets right now. There's so much that I can dive into just with this alone, but what I love is a takeaway. I love a takeaway moment. And what I've gotten from you is we need to check, talking about family business, we need to check ourselves, inside the family. So your sisters need to speak up, the cousins, and everybody, we need to call our men out. And if you are not stepping up to the plate and we see some behavior that is off, we need to call you out on it before we even let you go further into society. It starts with home. It starts with family business. So,
it starts with home.
Amir,
Absolutely.
wow. Thank you so much for calling. We truly appreciate it, and I hope you call back to the Raw Report. Thank you.
Listen, I'm a part of Southern California Ceasefire. You know Tim Cornegay?
Okay. Tim
Cornegay comes on there with Dominique DePrima all the time. So we got some real brothers out here, and our ceasefire, Southern California Ceasefire is the anti-gang initiative to try to get our people to stop killing each other.
Wow.
So I'm a part of that. So I'm a part of anything positive as far as black people. Yeah. And I know that nobody had our back more than black women. Sometimes you hurt us because that's the way it is. No one can hurt you if you don't love them.
Yeah. That's true.
No one can hurt
that's
you.
A fact.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
A big
Nobody
fact.
Like Maya Angelou said, it's not what people call you, it's what we answer to. So nobody can't hurt us unless we give them our love. That's the vulnerability. But black men, once we become connected to each other and accountable to each other, then we can love our women, and then nobody won't be able to disrespect a black woman ever.
Agreed. Amir, thank you so much. We appreciate you again, and God bless you. That was an amazing call right there. Katrina, I can't let you go anywhere. We got to talk on the other side. We got to finish up this conversation. Wow. You are listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, BB, and you're listening to me on The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It's game day at Jim's house, and the spread is impressive.
Mike's already done some damage with the hot wings, and now he's dropping back and going deep for another slice of pizza.
I sure hope he brought the Pepto.
Mike knows the Pepto-Bismol provides fast 5-symptom relief from unexpected stomach upsets. He's no rookie.
The way he's throwing back those nachos, he's the GOAT.
Be ready for game day with Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 climate justice campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, I don't know if you are like me, but I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that mic that was just dropped by Amir. Thank you so much, Amir, for calling in. Katrina, I couldn't let you go. We were supposed to have a Who's Got Next. I know you guys love the music segment, but these conversations lately have just been so important and impactful. And I hear you guys also, I'm listening to you. A lot of you are saying we need to continue the conversation, and when I feel like it's incomplete, then we will continue to have the conversation. So while I still have you, Katrina, your thoughts, right now I'm asking over in our YouTube poll if people agree with Amir that it actually does start in-house, which I love. It seems so cliche. However, we don't normally point that out. We're always talking about in the community, or we're talking about education first. But in the house, I love how he said it. Listen, all the brothers, the cousins, everybody, if you want to join in this family, we're all going to sit down. And he gave props to his own family, his sisters, for calling him out when he wasn't being a stand-up citizen. Give me your thoughts on his call and if you agree with him as well.
I absolutely agree with Amir, and I commend Amir because he has admitted some things that most men wouldn't admit. That's part of the problem, is a lot of people are delusional in their, role in this whole thing. There are men who have left their families, have left their children. I mean, I myself have raised 2 children by myself with, no input from a father. So I know what it's like. But my son has to deal with that as a man now, growing up in his young 20s. And so men have to be responsible and accountable for the role that they play in this. Every finger can't point at the black woman for all of our plight. Things happen because people, shuck responsibility, or they don't show up when they're supposed to show up, even, though their spirit may tell them to do so. Sometimes it's of their not of their own fault, but sometimes it's due to their own detriment and things that have happened in their past and the trauma that they're dealing with. Mm-hmm. But you got to be strong enough to show up and say, hey, this is my responsibility. I'm going to hold myself accountable to do better by my family, by my woman, and by my children.
Another good point. Andy was talking about the music that we listen to. It's a huge part of our culture, and especially the youth growing up. How much of all of this can we can we point a finger at the music? I mean, we came from an era, especially those who love hip hop like I do, and music as a whole. We kind of grew up in an era where there was so much positivity. There was so much positivity, and even hip hop itself, how it began. They was really just talking about what was going on in the neighborhood and in their lives. There was a little bit of competition, but it wasn't about killing. It wasn't about drugs. It wasn't about any of that. But that's how it's evolved to this day. It's the primary industry. That's global. The biggest industry is the hip hop, hip hop music. It is the biggest genre. How much of it can we blame on music? How much of it needs to change?
There's a lot that can be blamed on music. It used to just be the male rappers that were the issue. Now it's the female rappers who are perpetuating this, and it's not, I wouldn't say it's of their own doing. I mean, the industry has requirements of artists when they get signed these days. You've heard multiple artists who have talked about it on the other side of things after they've exited the industry. And they know that there's an agenda attached to that, even though people don't want to acknowledge it, People who rap, the reason why all rap sounds the same is because it's a requirement. It's not that we're not going to sign you if you are, look at Lady London. Do you know who Lady London is?
I love Lady London. I love her.
Completely talented, like probably the best lyricist we have today, but she does not get the fanfare that she should get because of her content. And I see her starting to get a little bit more loose in what she talks about. But that's our industry, and hip-hop has done that to us. And I really think we need to be more responsible and more conscious about the things that we encourage people to consume and the things that we support so that there can be some change. Otherwise, as long as we keep patronizing it, they're going to think that we still want it.
Well said, Katrina. I love having you on because I love being in conversation with you. Please let everybody know where they can find you online.
Yes, please follow me. You can find me on Instagram at Senator Katrina Robinson, or you can visit my website at thekatrinarobinson.com.
Y'all heard her, Senator Katrina Robinson. I absolutely love the flex. Listen, it has been a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to our next conversation. Sorry, you guys, we were not able to get to our Who's Got Next, but we're right back at it tomorrow. The show went by very fast, but I love these conversations. And as you already know, up next, the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Don't change the dial. You got to keep it there because he's got a fire show coming up. You guys remember, today and every day forward, be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. New York City Mayor Eric Adams is still talking with council members to try and convince them not to override his veto of a controversial policing bill. Adams, who is black, says the How Many Stops Act would force officers to spend more time filling out paperwork for pretty much every stop and less time policing. Advocates for the bill say it will increase officer accountability and transparency. The DA in charge of the Georgia election interference case against former President Trump will not have to testify